I'm live. Hello. I'm going to start right now. Um, Bonjour. My name is Annie Humphrey, and it's really good to be here at 1,000 streams. There's this big pandemic thing going on, but, the maple trees don't know that. And, things kind of go on as usual in the natural world, and that's kind of what I'm plugged into. So it's really it's a good way to live because we can just keep on going and doing our thing. So I want to thank the Current and Sam Brown and Alan and everyone listening and all the other musicians who are taking part in this virtual COVID thing. So I I'm gonna start with a song that I wrote a while back. It's kind of an old one, but I wrote it because my mother went to Chiapas in 1996, and what was happening there was a lot of indigenous people fighting for land and human rights, and so she was there as part of a delegation of people who were observing what was happening to the people. And she came home and she said, I learned something. And I said, what's that, Mom? And she said, I learned that no matter what you do, it'll never be enough. But you can't do too little. So this song is called We the People. We the people drink oceans of oil. It's not right, we say, as we drive our car to the grocery store just a half a mile away. We cut our way through forest after forest and we scream, this isn't right, but we'll go out to dinner and pick our teeth with wooden toothpicks tonight. Well, Mama came down from the mountains of Chiapas. She warned, don't let the oppressors stop us. Whatever we do, it'll never be enough. Let's not get caught doing nothing at all. We build new mountains, see them on the horizon, built with styrofoam and diapers. As we shake our head at the ugly mess, we carry organic food home in plastic. Well, Mama came down from the mountains of Chiapas. She warned, don't let the oppressors stop us. Whatever we do, it'll never be enough. Let's not get caught doing nothing. My son has a son. Is it too late to try to even try? My son has a song. There's nowhere to run. And when that new boy wants to know why, tell him mama came down from the mountains of Chiapas. She warned, don't let the oppressor stop us. Whatever we do, it'll never be enough. Let's not get caught doing nothing. I'm imagining applause. Okay, it's dying down. Just kidding. You know what, you guys? My piano was transposed really low. It's okay though. I'll fix it. Shut that off. Oh, there it is. See? It would have been like, we the people, drink oceans of water. That's okay. That's okay. I got to practice my low range. So yeah, I come from a family of really strong women. My mom was really, really active. She was like a activist, you know, like a 70s, not a hippie activist, but like a earth warrior, right? So I was brought up in that, and I kind of carried it on, and I still do. And I try to keep it balanced, you know. I don't want to get too radical and freak people out. And I find music is a good way to say things really friendly. I think that we're living in a time that people need to be coherent. And it's a really important word. Being coherent, I think, it means being aware, of course, of your surroundings. I think it's important. I mean, the word coherent, it's important to keep in mind, not just for what's happening externally, but being coherent in your own head can be a really challenge. Being coherent and listening to your own self. Because the times we're living in are kind of, can be kind of scary for people who aren't white. And sometimes I sit and I think, well, let me sing a song before I talk too much. This song is called Episode of Horrible. Outbreaks of new diseases, can't get help from Jesus. Water lashing out, stranding yachts in the trees. Better get ready for the extinction of bees. Stay coherent for as long as I'm able. In this episode of horrible, ignored it all, buried my head in the sand. My son arrived and gave his command. soul, a horrible, stay cool here for as long as I'm able. And this episode, a horrible, I wrote that song before this COVID came out, right? And there's the first line is outbreaks of new diseases. I just thought about that. Well, so I write about a lot of things, you guys, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I used to write love songs. Not that there's nothing wrong with writing about love. That's really cool. But I think that as a artist, for me, you know, you evolve, and so then when your life evolves, then the things you think about and the things that become important to you hopefully evolve too. So I think it's great 20, 30-year-olds singing about love stuff. But I feel like, for me, I feel like probably because I was raised by my mother, I feel like, you know, if you're going to use it, you know, do something with it that's going to make wherever you go a little bit more. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say here. The other inspiration for me, you guys, is I went in 1985 and I went to the theater and I watched a documentary called Rattle and Hum. And that was Bono and, you know, the band U2. And I saw these guys, you know, from Ireland, and they were like playing in the streets, and they were, you know, they were taking a stand, you know, and I thought I wanna do that. And that might be kind of, you know, what kind of changed my direction too, and what I write about. Um, I'm gonna mix my little list. I had this cool list I made up last night, but I wrote this brand new song. It's about, I don't know, maybe 48 hours old. And when I play too, I've played a lot of festivals, and there are people who are just masters of their instrument. You know, I'm totally impressed, and it's really cool to watch people play and sing, and they're playing these complex chords and stuff. And but I kind of write simple, and here's the whole song right here. But I think adding in good lyrics can make anything that, you know, seems super simple, make it seem super cool. So here's a really simple song that is super cool, and it's called New Snow. And my dad, my dad passed away this past fall, and you know, when big things happen, you write about it, or I do. We buried my dad in the fall. There was new snow on the ground. And although I'm 54 years old, I still miss seeing him around. And there's no one to say Annie the rice is gonna be good at Ravens Bay. And there's no one to say it's time to tap the trees down Sucker Bay. So I pretend that I know what I'm doing, because my kids are watching, and because watching me. Now someday you'll be burying me too. Maybe in the fall when there's new snow on the ground. And although you'll all be grown, I hope that you'll miss seeing me grow. 'Cause there'll be no one to say rice is gonna be good on Ravens Bay. And there'll be no one to say it's time to put the taps in down on Sucker Bay. So you pretend that you know what you're doing, because your kids are watching, and because me and Dad will be watching. We'll be watching you. Be watching you. Be watching New Snow. I wasn't in songwriting mode for a while, and then this came up, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll be songwriting again. No, I will. I must. So, let me see, you guys. So I just really did just come out of the woods down on Sucker Bay Road. That's where we tap our trees, and the weather is optimal for sap running time. So I mentioned earlier, living kind of earth connected is a really, really cool way to exist for me, and I'm really fortunate. And I'm really fortunate to have been raised by my parents. And even though my dad isn't here anymore, he left behind so much wisdom and a lot of other stuff too. There are things in this like generation I feel like we're dealing with a lot more, or maybe I don't know. Sometimes I think out loud and I have thoughts that are spontaneously happening like in this moment. So I try to be careful. But it seems that there are a lot of young people who, that are talking about being coherent in here and here. And if you don't have that coherence, then it's called something called mental health. And if your mental health isn't good, then there's something called mental illness. And, it goes on, and it grows into this huge spectrum. So I don't understand, exactly how it must feel to be in despair and not know why. But it's another big issue, so I wrote a song about it. And this song is called Days Go By. And it's just a gentle song about it's about, well, you'll hear when I play it. Days go by, and my feet are frozen to the ground. I can't make a sound. In the silence, I hear the trees and my heart pound inside of What days would you choose if you could call them back to you? Would you want skies so blue or the dark days that tried to crush you? Days go by, live them hard, before you let them go. Then let them disappear down the road, down the road, down the road. Smile and wave goodbye. It was a good day. It was a good day. Close your eyes and rest, 'cause a new one is on the way. Then swim against that current to ship. Remember, you're not a force to fuck with them. Dive into the sunrise, wash and pray by the riverside, by the riverside, by the riverside. Days go by. You know, it's that thing that you can't see on somebody. And so I tell, my own adult kids are struggling, have struggling times, and nieces and nephews. And, the only thing I try to tell them is don't be alone in it. There's got to be somebody in your circle to talk to. I have grandsons. And so if I have grandsons, I have adult children, right? So I write songs about them too. Ouch. That guitar string stuck me right in the nose. So I wrote this one song, you guys. I have a son. He may be in the next room listening, I don't know. But people also struggle with addictions. And he's one of them. But he's doing good, he's doing good, and he was out in the woods cutting wood for our fire, our sap boiling fire. So I think it's important, you guys, to do your best. Even if your best looks shitty to somebody else. People are doing their best. And I even look at my own parents and that the relationship and how toxic that was, and the abuse and the stuff that we all saw. But I look back now and I think my mom did her best. My dad was doing his best. And it might not have been really good to other people, but I can see it. And I got to give credit to people even who look like, oh my God, you're a loser or something, but I see it. I can see people doing their best. And I have a cousin who, his name was Junior, and he spent his whole life trying to sober up. He was either sober or he was really drunk. And when he was sober, he was happy and clean and in the power ring dancing. And it was either that or the other extreme. And he never did win, but he never gave up. That Junior never gave up. So if you are a mommy out there or a daddy with an adult child who you just want to smack them and make them come to their senses, this song's for you. Don't smack them though. we all get old, you know. We get old, but we still. It's hard. It's hard not to quit being a parent and bossing your kids around. Huh? It's 30 minutes. Oh, my time is up. Um. All right, my time's up, you guys. So thank you so much for listening. And I have records on Bandcamp, and you just make an offer, a nickel, 50 cents, $150, whatever you want. Website AnnieHumphreyMusic.com. I don't do Facebook. Maybe I'll see you guys out there when this pandemic is all done. Okay, thank you so much.